Hello, everybody, and welcome to On the First Tee with JT. I'm Janice Thornton with JT Fitness and Golf. I have an online personal training business, and I love to help golfers improve their golf game through strength, balance, flexibility, and mobility. The other thing I love to do is connect with people on LinkedIn, learn about their businesses, and share. And I have found a gem for you because Natalie West, she is a golfer. She's an entrepreneur. She loves the United States, and you're going to find out why. And you are just going to love what she has, what we are going to be talking about today. So, Natalie, welcome to On the First Tee with JT.
Thank you so much, Janice. That was the warmest welcome. Thank you for having me.
Well, so glad you're here. And okay, we need to talk about Elle Arbee here. And why should women be looking at Elle Arbee?
That's such a great question. Elle Arbee is, I would say, the main reason why any woman would choose Elle Arbee is because of its versatility and various other reasons I'll get into. But Elle Arbee was designed to go from the boardroom to the back nine. And so every piece is designed with those two things in mind. They have to be uh, able to be beautiful enough and simple enough to be worn as an underpiece, potentially under a jacket, but then also as a piece that you can golf in. So everything is course ready. But the ability to go seamlessly throughout the entire day is the goal of Elle
Mhm.
Arbee because women are not just one thing. So why should our clothes be? And that was the problem that I tried to solve with Elle Arbee. In going into the fashion industry, I don't have a background in the fashion industry. But when I went into the fashion industry, I also realized how just broken up the supply chains were, how a lot of our fast fashion is it's just not good for our environment. And so I've learned so much about sustainable textiles uh, and the quality of product that is built when it's taken somewhere else. And so we do manufacture our products in the United States. We have impeccable quality,
Mhm.
and we have currently 50% sustainable fabrics. In fact, the entire outfit that I'm wearing is made of recycled polyester. And there's a lot of benefits to using a polyester. There's a continual life cycle of polyester. It can be melted down. It can be remade into another thread, another polyester thread, 1,000 times. And so polyester
Wow.
and incorporating other they're doing some really neat things. Like, for example, this top here is made from recycled crab shells and water bottles. And
Really?
I know it's funny to think, but there's so many natural things and synthetic things that we can take to make polyesters these days. And so just the performance of the fabrics, the technology behind the fabrics has been quite eye-opening. And we're doing everything we can to make sure that we're reusing our remnants somehow, or we're recycling them, that we have as small of a carbon footprint as possible. Um, our textiles and trims are still coming from overseas, as are everybody's. It's just mostly where everything is made. But the actual manufacturing and the putting together and the quality behind the pieces is done here in the US. And I just think it's so important to maintain as much of a US presence and an eco-conscious mindset as possible.
So tell everyone, though, what I thought was fascinating with our conversation last week. You were talking about you got approached by a company in Canada, and what did you tell them? Because they wanted you to move or move manufacturing to Canada. What did you tell them?
Yeah, I said, look, they give me every reason why I should move to Canada. Price, and we can do it for, you know, uh 35% less than you're having it done now. And I said, no, thank you. I really, the relationships that I have built with my manufacturer in Los Angeles has, you kind of get into a rhythm too, right? You don't want to
Mhm.
abandon a relationship that has basically been with you since the beginning. And so that's the other key to our business, is that we really value the relationships that we have with our vendors and also with our customers. So that's another reason LERB is sets apart from the other people, from other brands, is that we are really connected to our customer, our personal customer, but also to our club customers, and want to ensure that we have the capacity to have relationships that have longevity and are mutually beneficial. They're win-win, and that we're serving the customer and serving everybody's vision the best that we can.
Mhm. Absolutely. So, how did you create the brand though? Like, how did you come up with Ellie Arbee, the name?
Sure. It's funny because everyone always asks me, "Are you Ellie?"
Yeah,
And
I could see that.
the reality is, the brand is really a manifestation of myself and all the things that I believe in. And I think we've all gone through like some major life changes, or things that have happened to us or really affected us, or maybe failures or devastations, and out of that typically comes growth. And so I went through a similar process, and out of that came some values that I wanted to live by. And so some of those values are honesty and kindness and courage. And so when we talk about LERB, I give you that backstory because it's important to understand why LERB means so much to me. But LERB is the phonetic spelling of the letters LERB. And so when I was going through this process of who I wanted to be and what values I wanted to live by, I came up with a couple of little quips, and one of them was left eye, and the other was right brain. So LE is left eye, and RB is right brain. And really, what those mean, left eye is about looking at things through like a different perspective and just taking a different view on the world, reframing, but also self acceptance. Because when I smile, really, really smile, my left eye closes. And so for the longest time, I just couldn't stand that about myself. And I had all these photos when I was young and a kid of my left eye closed, and I was so embarrassed. But once I finally realized that that was when I was truly joyful, I went back and I was like, "Where are all the pictures with my eyes closed?" So,
Nice.
um, that's what left eye is, and it kind of follows along with that honesty and kindness, those kindness values. And then RB is about right brain, and it's about the creative brain. But creativity is not about being artistic. It's about being curious and just really wanting to understand uh, why. And so I just think that's a really interesting way to live, is curiously. And then the right brain is also about the right brain, like mental health, and making sure that you are feeding yourself and consuming things that are nurturing your soul. So that's what LERV is all about.
Well, and I have to say the first time I looked up was, like, looking up your information, and I'm like, "Okay, Ellie Arbee, why is her name not Ellie? Why is her name Natalie?" So, I'm glad you told that story because I think it's a great story that people need to know about on how you came up with that name. I think it's fantastic. So, do you do all the designs for the clothing?
I do. My education is actually in industrial design, so in product design. And I wanted to be a transportation designer, a car designer, and graduated in 2008. So we all went into the car industry and immediately went out of the car industry. And so I do have a background in design and in product design. And so I took all those skills of designing cars and belt lines and strategic placement and aerodynamics, and really included that into my designs for LERB. I actually have a signature teardrop armhole. I don't know if you can see. It's
Mhm.
hard to tell when it's on, But the teardrop armhole is an homage to my car designing background because the teardrop sorry, I laugh. I'll tell you in a second. The
Okay.
teardrop is the most aerodynamic shape, so I like to think that I'm more aerodynamic on the golf course. And it makes me laugh because I'm not really, but we talk about performance. That's the joke I have. But aside from the performance of the textiles and the sun protection and all of the other technology that's built into the textiles, I do like to talk about my aerodynamic armholes.
Well, no, I would too, because honestly, I'm thinking about the woman who's a little bit bigger. She probably needs some aerodynamics going on in those armholes instead of
Yeah.
having something round to have it shaped the way it is. I have a feeling is a much better, more comfortable fit for women. Oh, you can really see it there. Yeah.
Yes. One thing that has plagued the fashion industry is sizing. And
Mhm.
I don't know how to solve for it. I really don't. I wish I did. And uh if I figure it out, like I will let everyone know. But the
Yeah,
sizing
please
is
do.
so hard. Yeah.
Please
Even
do.
in even in gloves, right? I just received all these glove samples and um everybody has different size palms, everyone has different size fingers, everyone has, you know, it extends from something as simple as a glove to something as complex as a shirt and even pants. I mean, pants are like, a whole nother issue with sizing. And so when it comes to things like design and the tailoring of the pieces, that's where I've found that I can make a little bit of a difference. And so all of my pieces are tailored. They're not just a front panel and a back panel, or as in the golf industry, they call it shrink it and pink it. So they take a
Oh
men's shirt
God.
and shrink it and pink it. Um, I don't
Nice.
do that. All these styles are created from an original pattern. And so I've
Mm.
tried to incorporate, some signature pieces and features in having a smaller collar. So I have the
Mhm.
signature Mandarin collar, and then the signature quarter zip that is really supposed to frame the woman's face, but also act as um, if you want to zip it all the way up and have a little more coverage, you certainly can. If you want to zip it all the way down and be a little more exposed, you can.
Mhm.
But the idea is that, there's an option with the armhole. That is something that I have heard frequently is that the armhole is a savior. And I don't have such a big armhole that you have, the exposure of the
Mhm.
undergarments. Um, either, but you do have this comfortability factor in having that teardrop shape or that V shape instead of having a big oval. So that is helping with sizing, as is, the quarter zip on these tops to accommodate for different chest sizes. As far
Mhm.
as the cap sleeve goes, I love the cap sleeve. I think it's a very flattering look.
Mhm.
And so all my styles have a cap sleeve on them. And what a cap sleeve does, no matter your size, is it takes your shoulders and it makes them just a little wider than the rest of your body. So it automatically gives you a little bit more of a waistline. So combine all of those things, and the tailored fit of the tailored nature of all the styles. That's how I've tackled sizing issues.
I like it because I think about for myself. Well, for one thing, myself, my shoulders, for some reason, when I play golf, they get so sunburned regardless of how much sunscreen I put on them. So I'm always buying short sleeve shirts because sleeveless, my shoulders will be fried by the end of my round. So I like the idea of this little cap sleeve that I can try out to see
Yeah,
how that works for me. So that way I still, because it's always the top part of my shoulders that gets fried, and this at
yeah.
least would still cover them, and I would be
So
able to.
exactly. It does give you more coverage than your typical like racer back. It's not
Mhm.
going to give you like the full arm coverage, which
Right.
is I'm going to share a little secret about the short sleeves. Not only do they
Okay.
give you a bad tan line, but
Yes, they do.
they're the most unflattering cut that a woman can wear because they cut the woman. So I'm going to stand up. So you can see the pieces are tailored right through the
Hmm.
waistline. So when you have the cap sleeve, you really, it really emphasizes that waist. So
Hmm.
what happens when you have a short sleeve, and what it does is it cuts you right along your breast line. And
Hmm.
what that does is it just cuts you right in the middle of the body. And so when you have a visual cut, it's one of the most unflattering things you can have versus an emphasis on your silhouette. And so I
Oh.
know that a lot of people are like, I only buy short sleeve shirts. Then great. I probably will never make a short sleeve shirt. Even like a 3/4 shirt. Where is that? I would make a 3/4 shirt. Why? Because it cuts you right at the waistline, right?
Interesting.
So
Okay.
all of the design that is built into the LARB styles. And this goes along with why you asked why LARB. There's so
Hmm.
much thought put into the design, the function, and the textiles and the overall use and purpose of them.
Hmm.
So they're very complicated pieces for being so simple.
But I love it though. And again, if you're a golfer, like you said, you can take this from the boardroom and take it out to the golf course. And that's what's fun is you can just go from one to the other. No one needs to know that you're off to go play golf. And you can just kind of like walk out and be like, oh, I'm going back to my office on the golf
Exactly.
course.
The other thing that I do, if you order directly from LERB, from us on our e-commerce site, you actually get a pair of pearls with every order, of
Oh,
these
fun.
pearls, because I just think pearls are such a classic look, and I wear pearls every time I golf. I don't wear any other earrings anymore because I just love them so much, and they go with everything. So, if you did want to, uh, I just wanted to show you this hat. So this
That's
is
so
like
cute.
this is the hat that started it all. This little newsboy hat. Um, so I had on some clothes from the office. I went to San Francisco and I was gonna go golfing at Harding Park, and the weather changed like that, and all I had was, a short sleeve top and a short skirt. And I thought, you know what? And there's nothing I hate more than being cold. So
Hmm.
I thought, you know what? I'm gonna leave my work clothes on. So I did. I took off my cap, I think I had like a Callaway hat or something. And I threw on a newsboy hat like this because it just went a little bit better with my outfit. And I went golfing in this, and that's really where LERB was born, was out of that experience. So, anyway, I love the hat. I love the earrings. It's just a very classic, fun look. And so,
The nice thing is it's you're taking women to actually be more feminine
yeah,
instead of having to have the typical golfer's look. Not that I don't mind wearing a ball cap because I don't. I love my ponytail out the back. I really do. Um, but it's nice to actually have a more feminine look instead of just us looking like guys. I like that shrink it and pink it. That's just funny.
I just learned that term. I
Oh
had
yeah, talk about that jacket.
Okay, so this is my new crop top, and what's really cool about this is I found a stretchy fur. It's machine washable too.
Oh, there we
So
go.
it's a stretchy fur. So these bubbles, this little bubble pattern is what makes it stretchy. It has the ability to stretch. And so isn't this just a fun little pattern on the back?
It's really pretty. Yeah.
So it's just again, it's a really simple piece. And like, how fun is it to, like, especially on a day like today, it just snowed today for the first time in Colorado. But take this and it has my signature print on the inside. And there's
Uh-huh.
just these um, little clasps. Zip this all the way up. And, and then you're super warm. You're so fun and cozy in, your little fur outfit, and it's so stretchy. Look how, do you see that?
I
It's,
do.
you can do
Okay.
anything and you can swing, you can do anything in it. And so this is, the next layer of Elle Arbee is we're trying to layer in some fun and some
Okay, so that jacket, does it come in black by chance?
not yet,
Okay,
not yet. It just
that's
comes
my
in mushroom color. So,
okay. So
um,
the next, because black would be really fun, because for my team play, we always black is always one of the first colors. And
ah,
then that would be a great little, because in January here in the valley, believe it or not, it can get really cold.
yes.
And there's times we are so bundled up, and that would be a fun jacket to have, but I would actually need it in black instead of the mushroom. Just letting you know.
All right, I just made a note, so we'll see if we can get it in a black for you.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
so we got to talk about you. You have a knack for a lot of things, but you also, when we were talking, you just have a knack for a lot of things. You also have a knack for coming up with scents for your
Oh,
candles. We got to talk about your candles also, because I love candles. Everyone loves candles. Who doesn't love candles? Let's
oh
talk
my
about
God.
your candles because they're so
Sure.
cute.
Okay. So, Elle Arbee is really a lifestyle brand, right? We're one thing that I love about the golf industry is people like you. And everyone is so nice and amazing and wonderful to be around. And I just wanted to say that. But
Oh,
beyond that, it's about people in the golf industry right now love to promote ladies and promote women. And
mm,
I think that's really a consistent theme around what I'm seeing in the industry. And what's really cool about that is that it lays a good foundation for brands like mine that aren't your traditional golf brand. We
mhm.
are a lifestyle brand. And so consistent with a lifestyle brand, I really just create things that are in my heart. And so I came up with these sort of kitschy golf candles, and I looked up a couple companies in Colorado. I landed on one in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. They're Woolly Wax, and I went and we curated these scents around golf. And so I've ended up making these four candle scents, and we're not stopping. That's the best part. I'll tell you
I
about
love it.
the next scent. So the first, what happened is I came up with all these different ideas, and I snapped a photo of the list and I sent it to about 50 people and said, okay, what sounds like the best candle? And so I took a poll. So of the four, or of all of the, I think 25 ideas I had at the time, the top four is what we landed on. And so we I ended up working out four scents. The first one is called Lost in the Woods, which I actually have burning right here. And so Lost in the Woods is it's and look, these candles are not just like any candle. They're an entire experience because they come with this really funny issue with golf, like Lost in the Woods, followed by a really funny quip. So this one, for example, says, um, when you leave the course with more mosquito bites than balls and maybe poison oak. I sat around one day and just made myself laugh, thinking of all these funny quips. I did use the help of AI to like make sure that they were nice and concise. So I
Mhm,
said, "Here's all the ideas. Help me phrase these so they're shorter."
mhm.
So anyway, I sat around all day making myself laugh, coming up with those. The first one's called "Lost in the Woods," and it smells of this beautiful, so what I put in it was birch, obviously, hyacinth, which is a floral scent, um, leather, mint, and a couple other things. So, but the scent is, it says it's like moss, lichen, and birch. So it's like meant to be this very woodsy smell. But the thing about this candle, when you smell it, like you don't really know what it is because there's so many cool things in it. And every time you smell it, you smell something different. So it's really fun. It's a whole experience. The second one is called Three Putt. I'm probably like the biggest three putter in the world. People always ask me, "Are you good at golf?" I'm like, "No, I'm terrible at golf." Just because I golf all the time and I talk about it doesn't mean I'm good. Um, but thanks for the confidence. So three putt is, it's the smell of fresh cut grass because your ball is just on the grass for too long. So it's the idea behind the fresh cut grass with the three putt. And there's all these funny quips about greenskeeper's revenge and flat light. And, for those that think the three times a charm putting strategy is the way to go. And so there's that one. Then there's one called 4 o'clock somewhere, which is the signature scent and the signature candle. And 4 o'clock somewhere is not about drinking. It's really about playing golf any time of day. That's what it's about. So all the little quips are about, what's your favorite time, tea time, things like that. And then the last one is called Stuck at the Beach. And this one is about being stuck in the sand all the time and not being able to get out. And it smells of like a beach and like a marine mist and sea minerals and that type of thing. And so it's a really nice scent. But again, it's just a whole experience. And there's actually, if you happen to get the one that says, you're stuck in the sand, like when you get a look of pity and you yell out, "I like the sand practice." That's totally me. That's me. Which I actually do like the bunker practice.
Actually, oh, and that is one of my I love the smell of the beach, so I look forward to getting that candle. However, man, I hate when I hit into the bunker. Oh my god, it is my least favorite shot ever, ever.
What's your favorite club out of a fairway bunker?
It depends. It depends on if I have any kind of lip. Um, if I don't have a lip, I'll actually hit some kind of hybrid out of a fairway bunker for sure. Now, if it's something that I've got a big lip in front of me, then I hit a wedge probably just so I can get out because I do believe in getting out the first time 99% of the time. But yeah, I love hybrids. I actually, when I was, this was probably 5, 8 years ago. I had a caddy for the first time, had been like 8 years ago or so, playing at Pinehurst, and this caddy handed me my hybrid to hit out of a bunker. And I'm like, I can't do that. And he's just like, sure you can. You can get on the green. I go, okay, I can do this. And I hit it and I actually got on the green. I was so excited. And once I learned I could hit a hybrid out of the bunker, I was like, oh, there's no stopping me now to, to do it. But yeah, hybrid for sure.
My four hybrid out of a fairway bunker is my secret weapon.
Yeah. It's don't be afraid. Because
Definitely
don't
not.
don't be afraid of the hybrid. I love hybrids. So do you like hybrids or woods better?
My favorite club is my 5 wood. I can
Mhm.
just kill that thing. And my four hybrid is really like my get out of sand trouble wedge
Oh,
club.
that's fun.
Yeah.
See, and I don't play with any woods. I play with all hybrids
Oh,
because
interesting.
I'm a big when I look down at the ball and look down at my club, a wood for me is so looks so big. And then
Mm,
it gets clunky. And
got
so
it.
I feel like I just hit that into the ground so much more. Where my hybrids, I feel like I can just swing with ease and there's no issues whatsoever. Okay, so Natalie, we got to talk
Yeah.
about where do you want to have like who's your ideal client? What clubs need to be calling you right now, so they can get your merchandise in their store or in their pro shops? And oh, also before I forget, you have some kind of great buyback program also for these pro shops that I think you need to talk about.
I do. I do. Thank you for the great questions. I'll start with the first one. Who's my ideal client? My ideal client is somebody that appreciates high quality items. And the items are made in the US, but the price doesn't really necessarily reflect that. I mean, I'm not charging, $9,000 for a vest, not even
Right.
900, right? Things are priced fairly. And so I if you're looking for fast fashion and you're ordering from Shein or Amazon or something like that, those are not my clients. That I'd prefer, somebody that is really interested in, recycling their clothing, for example, or
Mhm.
being a little more eco-conscious themselves and having that appreciation for the things that we're doing to make sure that we're making an impact and not just contributing to this really big problem of
Mhm.
fashion waste. Um, but and then obviously somebody that golfs. But here's the
Mhm.
thing, you don't have to be a golfer to wear my clothes.
Right.
And you can golf in all of them, but you don't have to be a golfer. And I think that's a common misconception is, I tell people I have like, this brand and I tell them about it. And they're like, well, I don't golf. It's like, no,
You
you
don't have to.
don't have to. Like some of my pieces, my best customers on my jumpsuit, for example, are actually for travel. So
Oh, okay.
because they're made of such luxury fabrics, they
Mhm.
are so coveted for airline travel and boats and other things. I can't tell you how many calls I've gotten about and emails. Hey, can you get this to me by Friday? Because I'm heading to Lake Como or something.
Try.
Um,
Yeah.
so that's really my ideal customer, somebody that really has a good appreciation for quality and attention to detail. As for clubs, so we're a little bit more of a country club vibe, just considering the lifestyle brand. We're not so much
Mhm.
of like a golf-y brand. I mean, I could sell this top as, a golf top all day long, but the reality is it's so many more things than just a golf top. And so,
Mhm.
resort wear is somewhere we're focusing as well. So, but we also work with a lot of destination courses, public courses. Um, let's see, if I had my pick of clubs to reach out to me, Pebble Beach, Bandit Dude.
Let's see what we can do. I can tag some
Yeah.
people. I've got connections on LinkedIn, I think, at all of those courses. Surely
Mirasol,
I think we can tag them and be like, you all need to watch this. Your merchandiser needs to watch this video for
Oh, that's awesome.
sure.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Of course.
And then as far as the buyback program goes, so I like to do business smart. And
Mhm.
for clubs, if there are any clubs watching this, we do a twice buyback program. So I like to start with pieces that you think might work in your club. We try them out. If they don't work, I buy them back in an exchange. We take the information, the data from what you did sell, and we do like a little lessons learned, right? Okay, so maybe this top didn't sell. How was it merchandised? Or, well, we just didn't sell any tops, so maybe it's not my tops, it's just tops in general. So we take that information, we look at, maybe different ways to merchandise, or, how can I help? And then we try another set of styles if you want. Um, based on the lessons learned. And then if it still doesn't work at that point, then it's probably just not a good fit. That's totally understandable. I
Mhm.
mean, lifestyle is, I believe that golf is really heading in more of the lifestyle direction.
Mhm.
But it's not for everyone. And I totally get that. And so I ultimately just want to have, um, a win-win relationship with the clubs that I'm in and that I work with. And so if it's not working for one of us, then I want to make sure that we just have an understanding up front that, hey, if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. So that is
Cool.
the buyback program I offer to the clubs.
That's awesome because I have a feeling there's not every company does that, and that's nice that you do that. Is there
Yeah.
anything else, Natalie, that you want people to know about Elle Arbee, about how they can contact you? What else would you like people to know?
You know, if they want to contact me, they can go to learb.com.
Mhm.
I am also of the mindset that people can just email me. I don't mind putting my email out there. So Natalie at learb.com. And we do have an Instagram. I have to disclose, I do not run it. So don't try to connect with me there. You can, it will eventually get to me, but that's probably the worst place to send me a message or something. But I will say that the clubs that follow us on Instagram, they're the ones that are most active in and responsive to our latest styles, the message that we're sending out, and that type of thing. So if you are a club, I would highly recommend following us on Instagram or on LinkedIn, because that's where you'll really get the most up-to-date information, because we don't do like incessant email marketing, because I don't like to.
Right.
We do very intentional email marketing. And so, if you, anyway, just I would say if you want the most up-to-date info, join on the social media platforms. And then the last thing I want to say is about candles. So I'm just going to say this.
Okay.
I love sharing information, especially with clubs. And one of the things that I learned when I did the candles was that Nike did a survey several years ago, and the results came back that 86% of people were more likely to make a purchase when there is a floral scent present. So if you do not have a scent in your club or in your pro shop, or, in your wherever you're selling something, like, you don't have to use my candles. They're great though. But I would highly recommend putting a scent and making a sensory experience around your shop. In my previous career, I was in workplace, and I used to work a lot with WeWork, and WeWork did these amazing studies on like auditory studies and scent studies, and other workplace environmental factors for their workers and productivity and all these things. And a lot of those things have parallels to retail. And so anyway, there's lots of really cool information out there about just the experience. So that's a
Interesting.
little tip for
That's very that's a really good tip, and that's very interesting to go along with it. Well, okay,
yeah.
everyone, thank you so much, Natalie. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
being on. If you have any questions for Natalie, feel free to reach out to her. Otherwise, everyone, have a fantastic day.
Thanks, Janice. Appreciate
You
it.
bet.